Hey everybody, this is Jason, and I wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about something that has been a pretty big deal in my life for many, many years, and basically tell you about something that's helping me. So, when I was 15, a bunch of friends and we all smoked cigarettes back in the day, and we got into a boxing school. And, when we joined this boxing school, we pretty much all switched to dip, thinking, this was going to be easier on our cardio. I mean, the start of every boxing class, I mean, we had to run, I don't know how many blocks, but it was far, probably a couple miles. And that was like a warm up before all the other warm ups. And, we thought, well, we'll start dipping. And, the camera's moving because it's my phone and I'm holding it with my arm. So we'll see how long this lasts. But, So we started dipping, and of all my friends, I was the only one that stuck with dipping. Everybody else went back to cigarettes. And I thought, well, dipping will be easier to quit. Well, I'll be 40 in November, and I've been dipping ever since. So let's just say 20 years. Um, it's been more than that. So anyway, recently, well, as of about 3 weeks ago, I started noticing numbness in my jawline, and I immediately started freaking out. I thought, oh my god, I've got mouth cancer from dipping. And I've been dipping. I started in high school. I dipped Kodiak, and then I switched to Timberwolf, and I've been dipping Timberwolf for probably 10 years. And so I noticed this numbness on my jawline, and I thought, oh my god, this is it, right? And I started freaking out. And I went to urgent care, and he basically said, do you dye your hair? And I thought, well, actually, my wife does every once in a while because I hate my gray. I hate getting old. It's not a vanity thing. I just hate being reminded that I'm getting older. And as you can see, I've got a lot of gray. And so that made me feel a little bit better. He said, I think it's actually probably the hair dye. I see it all the time. I worked at a dermatology office for a decade, and I would see that a lot. He goes, if it was anywhere else in your face, I would think it was, a precursor to Bell's palsy, but I think it's that. Well, we kept looking just to be sure, and my wife found some stuff online from a bunch of guys who dip wintergreen, which is what I've dipped for years, and they, a lot of these other guys were experiencing the same thing, but they're saying it was from the wintergreen in dip. And it would affect some guys in 10 days after they started dipping, other guys in 10 years. So regardless, I kind of realized, what, this is, I'm turning 40, and I'm in an age now where everything's going to start catching up to me if I don't get it in check. So I decided to quit. I actually quit dipping it's almost 2 weeks ago. Okay, and when I first started dipping, I first started quitting. I quit using the Nicoderm patch, the highest dose, which was 21 milligrams. I've actually got one on right here, and I decided. Well, I've quit before. I've tried quitting before with different methods. None of them really worked because I always had this fixation, this oral fixation. And so I'd chew the hell out of my lips and my cheeks, and I tried chewing gum. You just get TMJ because you're so anxious without that dip that you just chew the hell out of gum to the point where your jaw hurts. And and a lot of people don't think about that when they think about dipping. They just think, oh, it's just about the nicotine. It's not. It's so much more than that. There's a comfort to having something there. So, what happened was during this process, I tried the vape gun, the vaporizer. I just think I OD'd on that because that ended up making me sick as hell. And so, long story short, we get to now, and I started looking at dip alternatives, like fake dip type stuff. And I got one product, about like 10 or 20 rolls, burned through those so fast. And I didn't even like it. It wasn't very good. It didn't sit well. It didn't pack. Nothing about it was very good. And it was wintergreen. And what I ended up doing was sprinkling real dip into this fake stuff, which kind of defeats the purpose. And I thought there's got to be a better way. And mind you, while I'm on the patch, okay? So I got something else. I got this. Smoky Mountain Herbal Snuff Cherry. Okay, it's about $3.30 a can, and it's herbal. It's tobacco free. It's nicotine free, and this stuff actually tastes really really good, and it sits well. So if you're a dipper, you put a dip in, it packs, you pack it, and it sits there, right? And the other stuff that I had didn't sit well. It would spread a lot, and it was kind of dry, and it was just not very good. I don't even want to say what it was because I don't want to like hurt them as a company. Not that, I mean, there'll probably be 10 people that ever see this video, but they're an honest company and they work real hard. It's kind of a family-owned business, and they were actually one of the first fake dip kind of companies that I saw 5 years ago, and I just never got any of it. But this Smoky Mountain stuff, actually, I was watching some videos on YouTube about it, and some young hillbillies on there. One of them's like an actor hillbilly. He's like a young guy who does, I don't know, hillbilly reviews, and he seems to be pretty popular. He does a lot of referral marketing and things like that for mud jugs and what have you. And all these guys, they were trying either the Smoky Mountain Straight or the Smoky Mountain Wintergreen, talking about how it looks like horsehair and it tastes like shit, and just ragging on this stuff. I ended up finding it, and apparently you can buy a lot of these at Walmart. Okay, that was the thing. I wanted to find something that I didn't have to constantly order off of the internet, because the first batch that I got of the other stuff, I ran out, and I'm like, oh my god, now I got to order more, and I don't have any, and I didn't plan ahead. Well, this stuff, I actually found this, so you can get different flavors at Walmart. But I also found you can get them at like the tobacco shops. I'm sure there's a discount wholesale tobacco shop around you. They sell this stuff too. It's the only brand that they carry, but they typically carry all the different flavors. So I just want to let you know, it's been, today is my fifth day. My fifth day. Sorry. It's my fifth day without a dip. And I think of my kids, my wife, and everybody that means something to me. And it's reason enough to stop. If you're thinking about it, do it. This will help. Get the patch. Tastes good. Sits well. It'll make things a lot easier for you to transition away from even this in the future. Lower the patch and ultimately quit. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. Thanks for paying attention, and I hope it helps.